can find a butler, would you ghost hunters do me the honor of being my house guests? Nancy and her friends looked at one another. Then Nancy said, You mean all 14 of us? The elderly man smiled, Yes, all of you. Nancy telephoned the inn to tell the good news of the gang's capture and extend the invitation. The ghost hunters were excited and happy to hear that the mystery had been solved. All agreed to accept the invitation and stay with Mr. Cranshaw for a few days. It was decided that Ned and Jim would stay with the elderly man that night. Nancy and Helen would go back with Mr. Warfield to the inn in the truck. As they went out the door, Nancy chuckled. But this time, we'll ride on the front seat. All right. Thank you so much for turning in for Turn the Tide Thursday. We just finished The Invisible Intruder. It was 20 chapters, and I should have paid attention to how many pages. 20 chapters and 175 pages. As you may have noticed, if you were with me from the beginning, they did mention some cases that Nancy has solved. Some really, the first and second being the secret of the old clock and the hidden staircase. They'll also oftentimes in these mystery stories mention the prior case, and then you heard me read The Mysterious Mannequin. This is going in the form of following the series, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to skip to The Mystery of the Glowing Eye. I just thought it would be fun to start. I was just thinking, I don't know why I thought like a glowing eye's red. It could really be any color. But I was thinking about Valentine's Day and this like things glowing red. Even though I myself don't particularly celebrate Valentine's Day in the way most people do. But anyways, I switched over to this screen, which I haven't done before, because I thought I would just put my thoughts. I'm someone that as I'm reading, I have my own thoughts, but I was really trying my best to just read through the book. But I thought so it was just interesting. It's definitely a different time. These I think started in the 1930s. This one says it was last copyrighted in 1997 and printed in 2004. Perhaps. Trying to get my elementary school memory when I was in the library there as a student. I believe that most of the Nancy Drew kind of stories go with a kind of 1930s vibe to them, kind of, Great Depression. The fun thing about the Nancy Drew games is like they kind of got that, but also they've made it to where you're Nancy, so you can kind of envision yourself. Some of the wording in the books is definitely different, have different meanings than how we might use them today, or there's just some words and phrases we don't use at all. I found it like, I don't know, I guess because I am me and I just sometimes think about the finances of things. I'm like, wow, like what a blessing that Nancy can just go for a trip to 5 different places. and like, there were some changes on how long they would have stayed. And in my mind, I'm like, oh man, usually like I don't know how it was back then, but nowadays like there'd be some fee because you canceled your trip or like, you know, made different arrangements. You might get some money back, but not all of it. But also like I thought it was crazy how like the one man was scared into doing, dirty work for the prizers, and he tried to drown Nancy. She got really lucky because she's not a mermaid yet, right? Um, and I just thought it was crazy that, like, when the officers came and they were like, yo, bro, like, stop. Um, that he was like, don't mind us. Like, she did something bad. And it's like, no, like, where is it ever okay to just drown someone or attempt to do so? Or like, how is it okay to knock someone out? It's crazy. Um, and it's just fun to see the teamwork that happens with Nancy and her friends. Mm, special friends. That's fun. Sad. Um, part of me was like, does she mean like the boys? The college boys? Ned, Bert, Dave? I don't know. But yeah, it was a fun adventure, and I found it exciting that the first book I chose actually had a lot to do with mermaiding, like having seashells and having stingrays and starfish. And then I also like to keep track of the fun things that they eat because I love to eat myself. And so some of the things I'm like, I need to like look up what these all. Yeah, I thought they had, homemade cookies, the fruit juice, lobster, some other stuff that I don't know what it is. So I need to look it up. And I'm thinking of making posts about that on my Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, um, yeah, I was like, how crazy. And the day always turns out working out right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch back to our Turn the Tide and re introduce